Day Forest Hills and welcome back to our show. Happy 2021 everybody! I'm Loymar Gonzalez.
And I'm Yosef Abdallah, still coming to you remotely with some highlights of winter.
So let's get started. First, we'd like to remember the end of 2020 with the 12 days of winter break that our student government put together for us.
They're always thinking of ways to keep us together. So, for each of the 12 days before break, they had a different activity for us to do. Let's see how the big idea went.
Hello, this is Krista Romanelli from Good Day Forest Hills. I caught up with Miss Kelly and the government students to see how the 12 days to holiday break went. Why was it important to do the 12 days of winter activities right before the holiday break?
Would make a fun transition to the holiday season, as well as encourage students to focus on the spirit that our school needs to hold on to.
That's our goal in the end, to have students feel excited about what we're doing or to have that ranger spirit.
And sharing a favorite memory of their holiday.
We did get a lot of beautiful pictures of people's favorite holiday treats or their crafts that they did, and we shared those to our school website.
Would you please remind us again what kind of activities you encourage students to do?
So these activities included decorating the house, baking treats, making arts and crafts, building things with snow, marshmallow or cotton balls, wearing ugly sweaters, and going outside to find a well-decorated house in their neighborhood.
Was there a lot of participation?
So we got a lot of participation in these activities.
People were excited to participate, whether it was going outside and taking a picture of your house and the holiday lights you had up, or taking a picture of your favorite holiday treats.
Rather think of them as ways for students to make memories with friends, spend time with family, and just take a break from the work in general.
I can't wait to see what the government student has next for us.
So we're definitely excited to do something like this again, and hopefully we can get more people to participate.
I hope you guys look forward to these activities and participate in them. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, student government. Can't wait to see all the activities and events they have for us in the spring. Come on, Rangers, show spirit and participate.
Next up, winter wouldn't be complete without a winter concert.
Yes, Yosef, and what a concert it was.
Do you know how hard they worked to put together an entire concert featuring orchestra, jazz band, chorus, and more?
Well, we spoke with Mr. King from the music department, and he expressed how many hours and hours it took to coordinate all the music performances.
All the video submissions had to be resized and synced using a combination of computer programs like Pro Tools and Final Cut. It seemed impossible, but Mr. King made it all come together.
I hope you enjoyed those highlights of the winter concert. So much talent and hard work went into making this. Why did you feel it was important to put on a winter concert even if we're not in the school's auditorium?
It was important to do a winter concert this year, albeit virtually, because we needed to maintain some of the good things that go on in school despite all the bad things that are going on with the pandemic.
Which was your favorite piece this year?
So I would say each piece that each director chose, Mr. Koch, Mr. King, Mr. Chen, Mr. Goss, Mr. Arsberger, and myself, you could say those were our favorite pieces.
concert?
I did really enjoy being in the winter concert. Although I would have loved being in school and performing the traditional way, I'm still really glad I got to have this opportunity. I think it really taught me the importance of the individual in an ensemble and the role we play.
Seeing us all work together and come together and being able to produce something so beautiful.
Being a part of the winter concert was fun, and since it's my last year, I'm glad I was still able to perform for everyone.
I enjoyed being in the concert. It was a lot easier to participate in, since the nervous butterflies I would have on a normal concert were gone.
What was the most difficult part about doing the winter concert?
The entire choir had to learn their parts separately.
The most difficult part was definitely the filming section. Finding an ideal location and having my house be completely silent was very difficult. I know I drove my neighbors crazy.
Making sure everything was perfect, all of my pitches, all of my valves being oiled so they didn't stick during my actual performance, and just making sure that I wasn't nervous so I didn't make any unnecessary mistakes.
The most difficult part was recording for the video because it took so many takes for me.
And I ended up having to film my portion at the top of my stair landings.
What was your favorite part about doing the winter concert?
Definitely seeing my hard work and my classmates' hard work being put into this one song, and I knew we worked so very hard on it, and seeing it all come out to be as great as it was.
Definitely seeing the final product. We went many months without hearing what our song sounded like all together and only getting to hear our own bits, so hearing it mixed all together was very, very satisfying.
The good thing is, Mr. King put a lot of time and effort into editing our videos and putting them together as one. If it weren't for Mr. King, our concert would have been a catastrophe.
My favorite part was the end result, so like the final video. I was happy to see everyone performing.
My favorite part of the concert was definitely seeing Mr. King and Mr. Koch's shiny heads every day.
My family's and friends' reaction, they were happy that we were still able to perform for everyone, and they enjoyed it.
Overall, my family and friends loved the concert. They enjoyed all of the messages said by the teachers, and it was nice to see all my other friends in different bands play their instruments.
It's just so amazing. I love the choir and I love jazz band and I love everyone who performed. We all worked very hard and I'm glad that it sounded as amazing as it did.
Well, that was amazing and beautiful. Maybe they'll have more for us in spring. We also wanted to know what your New Year's resolutions are for this much appreciated 2021.
My resolution for 2021 is to make sure I take care of myself both mentally and physically.
My New Year's resolution is to take my vitamins every day because I always forget. And to up the exercise game to 5 or 6 times a week. And lastly, not to stress out over things that are beyond my control.
My New Year's resolutions are to pretty much ask for extra help when needed and also to help those in need. And also I really hope that we can get back to school in no time.
I want to be a better version of me. And that means more reading, more writing, more listening, more watching, more exercise, more drinking water, more going on adventures.
My resolutions for the year of 2021 is to eat more healthy food, to spend more time with my family, and to study more.
I want to read more books, I want to learn a new language, I want to be more optimistic towards my future, and hopefully even travel if we manage to get rid of the pandemic. With that, I hope you all have a great 2021.
Exercise a little bit more and to eat a little bit better. Read a little bit more, read new things from different authors and different cultures and different backgrounds, just to like learn a little bit more. TV shows coming out next year, so I gotta renew that Disney Plus subscription.
Like 500 or more subscribers on my YouTube channel, because that opens up a lot of doors in the acting industry from what I've seen, and yeah, I really want to make it in the YouTube scene.
And my New Year's resolution this year is to have a positive outlook on life and to finish everything that I start. Give it my all 100 and do it to the best of my abilities.
Stay on top of my work to make sure I get it done on time and that I don't get distracted from it easier, and just, keep on top of things and stay neat and organized.
I would invent a siblings holiday to show your love and respect for your brothers and sisters and spend time together.
A Marvel Day, but more specifically, it would be in honor of Stan Lee, who is responsible for Marvel Comics being as big as it is today, to do something that keeps the inner child in you alive. And maybe read a comic, maybe watch a Marvel film.
Family Day. And just to be as simple as that, family is one of the best things that you can have in life. So I think that why not just have a holiday for your family? Just spend your day with your family and only with your family.
Everything Day.
What do you celebrate on Everything Day?
You celebrate family, friends, teachers, the whole world, and your pets, etc.
Everything Day. Bye, Good Day Forest Hills.
Celebrate everything!
I will make a snow day holiday because I feel like it's very special. The snow is very special. And maybe I will call it the snow day. Drink coffee, drink milk, and do cookies with your family, just like Christmas, but it's just more relaxed.
Here's an idea, Shakespeare Day. It would be at the end of April, around Shakespeare's birthday. You would go to Renaissance festivals, go see plays of Shakespeare, recite poetry, and it would last the whole last week of April.
Well, that was just great. Thank you to all who sent us their answers. Oh yes, it is the year of the ox. I wonder what that means.
Hi everyone, it's Kaylee. I really wanted to find out about Lunar New Year, so I asked around.
大家好，我是思雨。今天我来给大家介绍一下中国农历新年。
Tell us again a little bit about Lunar New Year. What animal is it this year and what does it mean?
This year, the Lunar New Year Day will land on February the 12th, which marks the beginning of the Year of the Ox, the second animal of Chinese zodiacs.
What do you think of the Year of the Ox? Is it going to be a positive year?
2021 will be a great year because in Chinese culture, the ox represents honesty, patience, positivity, and great strength.
I have good hopes for the year of the ox. Since the ox denotes hard work, positivity, and honesty, I think this year will definitely outshine 2020, which was the year of the rat.
Just like the oxen, they can achieve their goals by consistent effort. They are not easily influenced by others or the environment around them, but are persistent in doing things according to their ideals and capabilities. As a result, people born in the year of the ox often enjoy great success.
I think of the ox year as a really cool year and a new start, and that it's going to be better. Although it was rough last year, I'm hoping that everybody will have a positive mindset.
I think it will be a positive year because of 扭转乾坤. I don't really know how to explain it, but basically it means that it's time for the ox to help make everything in order this year.
What activities, events, or traditions do you love on this holiday?
Spring couplets are one of the most important things to do in New Year because Chinese people believe that putting them on the front door is going to bring fortune to them. 招财进宝, which means having more wealth. Another word is 春 and 福, which means fortune. We will usually put them upside down because in Chinese, the word upside down is like something coming to us.
And today I'm going to teach you how to cut out the Chinese character fu. You would take out a piece of yellow square paper and draw out the character like this and cut out the character. Lastly, take out a piece of red square paper and glue the cut out character on it.
On Chinese New Year, Chinese businesses will place a red envelope tied with lettuce outside of their doors, and the lion will come to pick up the gift, and they will keep the red envelope and throw the lettuce into the air. And it is said that if you catch the lettuce, it will bring you good fortune, because in Chinese, lettuce, which is cai, sounds a lot like fortune, which is cai.
Around the time of Chinese New Year, my family will start to quote-unquote reset everything. I mean that my family will start to clean the entire house until it sparkles and shines, wear completely new clothing, prepare food for the celebration meal, and etc.
Will it be harder this year to celebrate fully?
It's harder to celebrate this year because I won't be able to see as many people. Here are some pictures from a local Chinese New Year event I attended a year or two ago near my house. There were ribbon and lion dances, and I even got a brown sugar dragon candy. This wouldn't happen this year, unfortunately, along with other big celebrations in Chinatown and Flushing.
Family gatherings are loud and full of joy, and losing that part of the celebration makes the celebration feel off. like something's not right.
Although it will be different this year, as some of our relatives may not be able to visit due to COVID. It's a fun and memorable time to start off the year because we get to see relatives that we haven't seen in a while.
During the parades, Chinese lion dancers will run around and collect red envelope from the watchers. But this year, since there will probably be no parades due to the pandemic, you can watch it online through YouTube and other websites.
All those stuff won't be happening in person, but we will be doing some virtual FaceTimes and all that virtual stuff.
What is your favorite part of Lunar New Year?
Making dumplings with my aunt is one of my favorite activities, maybe more so than eating them.
Today, I'll be showing you how to make them. You're going to dice anything that needs dicing and then mix them all together in a big bowl. Here I gathered the mixed dumpling filling, a bowl of water, and the dumpling wrappers. Now the first step is to scoop some meat and place it on the center of the dumpling wrapper. I tend to eyeball the right amount, but you don't want too much to the point where it'll overfill, but not too little so you don't taste the filling. You want the perfect ratio. Typically, families will sit around the dinner table and wrap dumplings together in the afternoon on Spring Festival Eve. The reason Chinese people eat dumplings is because they're shaped like ancient silver and gold ingots, which symbolize wealth.
It's always exciting to see our little cousins, and it's something we look forward to every year.
And of course, the best part is receiving red envelopes.
I also really loved, as a kid, the lion dances in Manhattan.
How do you celebrate Chinese New Year?
You may be wondering, what's this strange thing on my head? Well, this is a Tibetan hat from the region of Utsang. I celebrate the Tibetan New Year, also known as Losar. We dance, sing, eat, and pray to the gods. A typical phrase that a lot of people use is Xinyan Kuaile, which literally translates to Happy New Year's. As for other regions in China, like Tibet, we say Losa Lateshtele. Well, I hope you learned a little bit about Chinese New Year's and Lunar New Year's.
A red envelope is a simple gift that contains cash. They're normally given from married couples to the unmarried, or a boss to an employee. Do not ever give an amount with the number 4, because in Chinese culture, the number 4 is very unlucky.
那么周老师又是怎么庆祝中国新年的呢？他会去和朋友还有家人相见，也会去看放烟花，会收也会发红包。还会和大家一起吃饺子。
My family celebrates Chinese New Year with hot pot and family gatherings. We usually invite family over for dinner to celebrate.
Usually my family cleans the house thoroughly prior to sweep away any bad luck. We eat fish, spring rolls, sweet rice balls, fruit, and niangao. For dinner, we eat hot pot, which is super delicious.
I would like to wish your family and friends near and far a very happy and healthy Year of the Ox.
And with that being said, I wish everyone a happy Chinese New Year and have a great school year ahead.
Well, thank you teachers and students for giving us an insight on this special holiday. Happy Lunar Year, everybody. Let's all prosper in the Year of the Ox. This is Kaylee reporting to you from Good Day Forest Hills.
Students of our African American Literature course reached out to inform our community about the arts, literature, and sciences of Black history.
This is Esmeralda Herrera, and I got to catch up with some of our students in our African American Literature class. They put together these amazing presentations for Black History Month.
Hey guys, I'm Anisa and I'm here to start the beginning of our Black History Month presentation.
Many of you may not know who that is, or heard of her even, but don't worry, I'm here to tell you. Her name is Kara Walker, and she was born in Stockton, California in 1969. Kara Walker is a contemporary African-American artist. She's known for her installation of art. She's known for her paintings. Kara Walker is most known for her black and white silhouette cutouts, based on race, stereotypes, sexuality, gender, and lastly, violence.
Meet Louis Latimer. He was born September 4th, 1848. He was an African-American inventor whose parents were fugitive slaves. The invention made electric lighting practical and affordable for average households.
Today, my friends and I just wanted to highlight a few more African-American innovators, and I want to talk about Jean-Michel Basquiat, who was an American painter that rose to fame in the 1980s. He started off as a graffiti artist, but later shifted to more conventional art, working on paper and canvas. His work to provide social commentary based on stereotypical Black images and events. Incredible artistic mind, and I think Akil can tell us about another one?
Thanks, Nat. Hi, my name is Akil DeFreitas, and I wanted to highlight Miles Davis. Later on in his life, he went on to create albums like Roundabout Midnight, Sketches of Spain, Milestones, and Kind of Blue, selling several million copies in the United States. Miles Davis was a well-renowned jazz musician in the 20th century, infamous for his musical abilities as well as his trendy, sharp fashion sense. He and his band improvised most of the songs they played, allowing for complete creative freedom to take them from note to note.
One of those individuals is Katherine Johnson, who had an important impact in science. In 1962, as NASA prepared for the orbital mission of John Glenn, she was called upon to do the work. She ran the same numbers and calculated everything that the computer had done by hand and ensured that the flight was going to be a success, and it was. Katherine Johnson was known as the human computer.
Hello, I'm Mercy, and today I'm going to introduce Kylie Reid, an author who had an important impact on literature in our society. Just months after her graduation, her debut novel, Such a Fun Age, was published in December 2019 and was longlisted for the 2020 Booker Prize. Her work of fiction focuses on a 25-year-old Black protagonist who worked as a babysitter for a wealthy, working white mother.
It is a day to talk about Ta-Nehisi Coates. He is recognized a lot for his book Between the World and Me. One quote from his book is, "We should seek not a world where the black race and white race live in harmony, but a world in which the terms black and white have no real political meaning." Coates published The Water Dancer in September of 2019. He has received awards like the MacArthur Fellowship Award and the National Book Award for Nonfiction.
Hi, I'm Kennedy Carpenter, and today I'll be talking about the rap group A Tribe Called Quest. Focus instead on abstract philosophy and message tracks. They topped on numerous black issues such as date rape, use of the N-word, the trials and tribulations of the rap industry, all of which overpowered an occasional game of the Dungeons.
Hello, I'm Emily from the African American Literature class, and today I am going to be presenting on Alice Walker, who had an important impact on literature in our society. Walker struggled in her life growing up. She grew up poor in a family of 8 children, and her mother was a maid. Alice won a Pulitzer Prize. She was famous for her 1982 novel, The Color Purple. Her influence was also backed up by her work as an activist. After college, she was actively participating in the civil rights movement.
Hello, I'm Christopher Diaz from the African American Literature class, and today I'll be presenting on Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis was a comedian, an American singer, dancer, actor. I picked Sammy Davis Jr. because I know he was famous in his prime, which was the 70s, the 60s, the 50s. But during the 2000s, no one really knows who he is or what he did. And I want to show people how he influenced.
Hello, I'm Maria Jose from the African American Literature class, and today I'm going to be presenting on Francis E.W. Harper, who had an impact on literature in our society. Harper was committed to the struggle for women's rights and the temperance movement, and published novels, short stories, and poetry focused on the issues of racism, feminism, and classism. She emphasized that Black women were facing the double burden of racism and sexism at the time.
My name is Matthew Briones, and today I'll be presenting information about Colin Kaepernick, an influencer/innovator in our society. In 2016, Colin Kaepernick decided to take a knee in solidarity with the cause that there was so much police brutality in our nation that needed to change, as well as social injustices.
Hello, I'm Sunma from the African American Literature class, and today I'm going to be presenting on Louis Armstrong, who had an important impact on music in our society. He was named the first great jazz soloist. By 1929, he was famously known as a great musician, and he moved from Chicago to New York. His voice in music and in politics displays his enchanting personality that impacted music and racial issues. He paved the way for musicians and, most importantly, African Americans today.
What's up, guys? My name is Elio, and I'm from the African American Literature class, and today I'm going to be talking and presenting about Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was considered as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Ali was a legendary boxer known for floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. Growing up in Louisville, Kentucky, Ali had to deal with segregation. He will remain being the best boxer the world has ever seen.
My name is Gabriella Straker, and today I will be presenting on Amanda Gorman. Who is Amanda Gorman? Amanda S.C. Gorman is a 22-year-old poet who was born on March 7, 1998. Gorman went on to attend Harvard University, and in 2016, Gorman created the nonprofit organization called One Pen, One Page. Gorman was the first poet to open for the Library of Congress. She's the first person to receive the title of National Youth Poet Laureate, and recently has made another first. Gorman is the youngest person to ever read at the inauguration of a president, and she read her poem titled The Hill We Climb at Joseph Biden's inauguration on January 20th, 2021.
We are striving to forge our union with purpose. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true.
My name is Joseph Castillo from the African American Literature class, and today I will be presenting on Chris Gardner, who's an African American businessman and inspirational speaker.
Many of you may have heard or seen the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, starring Will Smith, but did you know that this movie was based off of Chris Gardner's story?
Today I'm going to be presenting on Lloyd Austin III, who had an important impact on politics and government in our society. Mr. Austin is the only African American to have led U.S. Central Command, the military's marquee combat command. On January the 21st, 2021, the Senate confirmed Mr. Austin as Defense Secretary, elevating him as the first Black Pentagon chief.
My name is Marvin Dansler. The person I wanted to talk about today is Shaka Khan because she had a big impact in society in terms of music. In 1969, Shaka Khan became active in the Black Power movement. Shaka Khan has achieved great success as a part of the soul funk band Rufus, delivering hits like Tell Me Something Good, Sweet Thing, and Hollywood. With tunes like I'm Every Woman, Shaka Khan has won numerous Grammy Awards.
Hello, I am Yazzy Reyes from the African American Literature class, and today I'm going to be presenting on Louis Malone Jones. She painted outdoors, making rural landscapes and street scenes. She also created a very important image, a life in vibrant colors, which isn't like an abstract, but is also very colorful.
And I will be talking about Charles Henry Alston.
Alston was an influential artist, painter, sculptor, illustrator, and muralist during the Harlem Renaissance. His works were influenced by the civil rights movement, which he stated, the basically important thing is making a good picture out of what your experience has been.
I'm going to be presenting on Mary Van Britten Brown, who had an important impact on innovators within our society. Mary Van Britten Brown was born on October 30th, 1922, and grew up in Jamaica, Queens with her mother, her father, and her grandmother. With the help of her husband, Albert Brown, Mary Van Britten was able to successfully invent the home security system. Her security system offered two-way communication as well as surveillance. Within her invention, there's a camera placed on the door which was able to pick up images and visuals that would be displayed on the security monitor through a wireless system.
Hi, I'm Kushi Rai from the African American Literature class, and today I'm going to be presenting on Gwendolyn Brooks, who had an important impact on literature. Gwendolyn Brooks published her first collection of poems, A Street in Bronzeville, in 1945. To be the first African American writer to receive the Pulitzer Prize.
I'm going to be talking about Stacey Abrams, who's had an important influence on American politics. In 2018, she founded Fair Fight, an organization that helped register at least 800,000 new voters in Georgia. She is the first woman to lead either party in the Georgia General Assembly and is the first African American to lead in the House of Representatives.
And today I will be talking to you guys about Simone Manuel. You must be wondering who this is. Well, Simone Manuel was the first female African American to win an individual gold at the Olympics in the sport of swimming. Swimming is a predominantly white sport. Therefore, growing up as a Black child swimming competitively was a struggle for Simone. Simone's determination and strength led her to the 2016 Rio Olympics, where she won 2 gold medals and 2 silvers.
Alexa Kennedy was the first African American to become a neurologist in the year 1981. Due to the color of her skin, it was difficult for her to obtain an internship. When she turned 36 years old, she became the chief of neurosurgery at Children's Hospital of Michigan. She retired of medicine in the year 2012. She's an important person in our history because she advocates girls to follow their dreams no matter the circumstances.
My name is Saul Aureo. It's about Hank Aaron, Hammer and Hank. This man was born in Mobile, Alabama. He signed his first independent contract while he was in high school. He used to bat like this, you feel me? Weird type of sense. Most ball players, they bat like this, you feel me? He broke Babe Ruth's career home run record of 752 career home runs. That was considered one of the most unbeatable records at the time. So for an African American man to do that, bro, it was crazy, man.
Marcus Rashford is an English professional football player who plays as a forward for Premier League club Manchester United and the England national team. He is 23 years old and was born in Manchester, England, and his dad is in Jamaican descent. So recently, Rashford was a victim of online racism, and I felt like personally that he handled the situation very well. Is that he said, "I have beautiful children of all colors following me, and they do not need to read it. Beautiful colors that should only be celebrated." UK went into lockdown in the coronavirus in March. He began working with Fair Share to raise money to give meals to vulnerable people. Marcus Rashford is a very humble and amazing young man. He uses his social media platform to raise voice in ending racism and supporting the need.
Edmonia Lewis was the first professional African-American sculptor in the 19th century. She started creating sculptures of well-known abolitionists. She chiseled freed African Americans as well as Native American figures. After slavery abolished, her artwork was reflective of religious leaders in Italy and England.
Today I wanted to talk to you guys about this poet that I found, Natasha Trethewey, who was a great influence on literary society, and not many people know about her. Her first collection of poetry, Domestic Work, was published in 2002 and received many praises for its perspective on the working class, men and women of color in the South. Her look at the simple lives of the African American community that she turned into beautiful poetry. So now I'm going to read you one of her main poems from her main poetry book, Domestic Work. This: she's cleaned someone else's house, stared down her own face in the shine of copper bottom pots, polished woods, toilets she'd pull the lid to. That look saying, "Let's make a change, girl." But Sunday mornings, they're hers. Church clothes starched and hanging, a record spinning on the console, the whole house dancing. Our main focus today was to give you guys some influencers from the African American community that you may have not known about and kind of give them the recognition they deserved.
We hope with watching our presentation, you've learned something new and that you check out these African American influencers and their work. Thank you all for watching.
Here's what they had to say about the class.
Being a part of the African American literature class has exposed me to many Black Americans that have shaped society through creativity and innovation.
This year we focus on African American pioneers whose contributions have significantly impacted our world today. Why did you join this class?
Because being a biracial Puerto Rican and African American woman, I wanted to get closer to my Black culture. I remember hearing about the selective in junior year. That sounds like something I could connect to and build on other people's ideas. So I said, let me take the class. And it turns out I was right. I learned more about myself. I learned about people in history that I didn't know before.
One of my favorite parts about being in African American literature class is just learning about African American culture.
Because I was interested in learning about the various types of work written throughout history by African Americans, and I wanted to know the impacts of these writings.
Because I realized that I lack knowledge when it comes to Black history, and seeing as though I'm Black, I felt as though it was really important for me to become more in touch with my roots and learn all of these new things that I didn't even know about before.
I always wanted to learn about the different African American authors that society hasn't recognized. I love learning about the different African American authors because each of them motivate me to become one of them by following my heart and passion.
What initially caught my interest was when the seniors last year came into our classrooms and performed a traditional African step dance for us.
What is so special about being in the African American literature class?
So special because the teacher makes you feel welcome, and especially the students. It feels like a tiny little community within the big community that our school has.
The class is just so fun and inspiring. It gives you a very different perspective on society and about a lot of problems that we're facing even today.
And being able to connect with my peers and understand where they're coming from and understand their battles that they're facing and how I can support them.
You're able to talk about social issues freely, and you're supported and encouraged the entire way through the class.
What's so special about it is that you get to learn about people you didn't even know about. Like, I didn't know about who was Du Bois, quotes. I joined, and I like the class. It's lit, man, for me.
What are some things you study in this class?
We study literary work from African American authors, mainly from a social and racial view.
Understanding of what African Americans past and in the present feel in our society. I think it's very important to to try to understand or get knowledge about this, especially because of movements like Black Lives Matter.
Ms. Pino creates such a comfortable environment for students to share their opinions and have insightful discussions as well as Socratic seminars, which elevates our learning experience overall.
Socratic seminar, how to write an essay for college, and most importantly, we learned about African Americans and what they went through in the past.
Class was no ordinary English class. Though there was work and presentations, we were able to work together and have fun. This class is one of the classes that I felt like it was easier to get to know people. Though I am not a part of the community, they all made me feel at home.
This class is a lot of communication.
Analyze and discuss how the historical circumstances such as slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow laws, the Harlem Renaissance have shaped African Americans through history.
We have read the works of so many incredible African American writers. We have tackled topics regarding race and other social issues.
Thank you, Ms. Pino, in our African American literature class. Now, back to you, Joseph.
Next up, we have to congratulate Moot Court and Miss Carlson's law students. Our Moot Court made it to the quarterfinals and all done remotely.
Wow, let's see what Moot Court is really about. Our reporter caught up with them.
The Moot Court students, headed by Miss Carlson, made it to the quarterfinals, even during this strange remote time. So, let's find out what they are all about and how they represented Forest Hills High School. What is your favorite part about being in Moot Court?
My favorite part about being in the Moot Court is the collaboration within our team and the group bonding we had, even though those were all established online this time.
My favorite thing about being a part of Moot Court was becoming close to my co-counsels. We would always be practicing with each other after school and on the weekends.
Favorite part of Moot Court probably had to be collaborating with the other students, alumni, and attorneys.
Since my teammates and I just encouraged each other to do our best and to not worry what the outcome was, it really was amazing working with them, and we just really had a fun time doing this.
Of course, the best part yet is the excitement we shared when being informed our advancements in the competition.
It's an experience that I wouldn't trade for the world.
What skills did you have to master to get to the next level?
These skills were public speaking, legal writing, how to apply case law, and effectively work with others.
The most important skill we had to master, I think, is to deal with the situation flexibly, because no matter how many times you rehearsed everything, you never know if a judge will question you in an unexpected way.
Public speaking, being able to take a pause when things got rough, being able to think on my feet, being able to be persuasive to the judge, and also being able to internalize my script to the point where I don't need it in order to be able to speak and answer the judge's questions, or as Miss Carlson likes to call it, gumbying.
I talk with my hands, like most New Yorkers, so a skill that I had to master was how to control my hands as I talked.
To argue in Moot Court as an attorney, we had to understand the law and the interests of our client.
What did you prepare, and how long did it take you to prepare this?
We started preparing late September and went on until mid-December. I practiced every day, and on average, I practiced 2 to 3 hours.
Meetings after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as weekend meetings on Sundays, sometimes.
We prepared by meeting with Miss Carlson, alumni from the law program, and lawyers from Hughes, Hubbard, and Reed every week.
We only had 2 months from knowing what kind of case we had to the actual competition.
The actual contents of our meetings included a lot of speaking, a lot of debate, and overall trying to emulate what would happen on the actual competition.
I would practice presenting my argument, answering questions, and innovating new ideas.
We also had to practice our performance for many times. The perfection process of our arguments with our coaches had been different since everything turned remote.
How did it feel doing Moot Court remotely?
We don't get to see our teammates or coaches in person. The benefit was, I think sitting at home and doing everything kind of added a lot of convenience to this crazy senior year.
It felt nerve-wracking. Even though it's remote, it's still a competition, you're still in front of a judge, and you're still getting graded on your performance.
Even though we've been doing remote learning for a while, it was still strange to be doing Moot Court remote. I was a bit sad that we weren't able to present our case physically, but I'm really grateful I still got the opportunity to participate.
While I do believe it was less nerve-wracking than doing moot court in person, it was definitely an experience.
Remote moot court was challenging, but it was also fun. Although we couldn't meet with each other in person, I still gained new friendships and valuable skills that I can use in my future.
Overall, I feel like this experience in moot court has definitely made me more outspoken, and without it, I wouldn't have met all these awesome people who dedicated their time to help us get far in the competition, and the friends that I made along the way.
Well, thank you, Moot Court students and Miss Carlson. Can't wait to see what our other law team mock trial does in the spring. Go Rangers!
Another dynamic group that hasn't let remote time stop them is Girl Up Club under the guidance of Mr. Minetti.
Let's hear from this amazing group who fundraises for the underprivileged and does so many activities.
Forest Hills Girl Up Club has been around for 6 years. We are a big force with over 100 members.
I decided to join Girl Up because as a feminist myself, I really appreciate the opportunity of contributing to Girl Up as a human rights advocating organization under the UN Foundation.
The reason I decided to join Girl Up was because I believe it was my sophomore year and I only had like a cluster of friends, and I wanted to expand my friend groups.
The current initiative of Girl Up, which is to combat gender-based violence, and just by the club members advocating, we raised over $1,600.
Girl Up's global initiative and its dedication to all kinds of human rights issues around the world really drew me to it.
In the past, we've done fundraisers like movie nights. We've gone to events like the Today Show a bunch of times. Obviously, all of those things were met with challenges this year because we couldn't do fundraising in person.
I'm glad that when we went into the COVID thing and everything was online, that everything didn't shut down and that they still kept giving their ideas, still kept expressing how they felt, and just giving their input on their idea and not letting, COVID shut down their mind.
I think that our group of girls this year has been our strongest yet. We've all come together, shared a lot of really good ideas for fundraising virtually and for advocating to get people to care about our cause.
I'm just glad that we have more members and newer members and everything like that, so it's really cool.
One of the upcoming fundraisers that we're going to be doing is basically a program where you can find a new friend at Forest Hills High School online. The girls of the club have come up with a lot of other really great ideas for the year that I'm excited about.
I love the fact that in Girl Up, we always have the most active team collaboration and many inspiring ideas.
I think that it's brought out the teamwork that we need to work together and to get things done.
They're just like, oh yeah, I agree. Like you always see in the chat, our chat is always active.
Something I want to accomplish with Girl Up is to figure out good plans for fundraisers that can be achieved virtually, so that our school community can still participate in our causes and make contributions to the populations in need of help.
Just to keep spreading the word about Girl Up and just having new members coming in, because I feel like the club is very popular to just the female, perspective and view. I wish that more male view would come in and join.
I enjoy the sense of bonding when we are together. Forest Hills Girl Up has always been a warm home for its members, and it is always a safe space for people to share thoughts on issues of not only gender identities, but also civil rights advancement.
We hope that we can continue to get the love and support from everyone in the Forest Hills community to help make our club successful.
We would also like to give a shout out to all the students who bravely competed in our annual Shakespeare monologue competition remotely this year.
Here are those bold performances of some really complicated monologues.
Do Caesar what he can. No, sir, that I will not wait pinion at your master's court, nor once be chastised.
And have not we affections and desires for sport and frailty as men have?
As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry has shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the diadem?
Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name?
Here's an equivocator who could swear in both scales against either scale.
That's Rosemary's. That's remembrance. Pray you, love. Remember.
My conscience that has ever dreamt or vowed her maidenhead to a young, handsome man. And I loved him, extremely loved him, infinitely loved him. What should I do to make him know I love him?
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee.
Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried, he cannot come out unscathed.
And for the name that is no part of thee, take all myself.
Congratulations to the winners.
Also, let's not forget some fun stuff in this episode. Our very own cooking show is back, Cooking with Yazzy.
This time, she shows us how to make chocolate chip cookies from scratch for any holiday or any season. Take it away, Yazzy.
Hi, welcome to another segment of Cooking with Yazzy. I hope everybody had a happy holidays and a happy new year. Today we're making chocolate chip cookies.
First, we're going to start with 1 stick of butter. Then we're going to add 1/2 cup of white sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Add 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Next, we're going to add the dry ingredients in increments of 2. I previously mixed these together, and it's 1/2 cup all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Now you're going to want to fold in 1 cup of chocolate chips. Now you're going to want to grease your pan. I'm going to use olive oil, but you can also use parchment paper. And I'm using an ice cream scoop, which is about 2 tablespoons of dough for each cookie. Now you can pop this in the oven at 350 for 10 minutes. And enjoy.
Those look good.
And finally, we know these days may still be tough even as we enter 2021. So, here is a cup of comfort with Sally. As the snow melts and the 5th marking period is around the corner, we need some deep thoughts.
Welcome to A Cup of Comfort with Sally. I'm your host, Sally, and this is A Cup of Comfort. It's been a long few months since I last saw you guys, and we've gone through a lot in those months with stress and anxiety and school and being home. So what we're gonna do today is drown that out with a poem called Red. Let's be red. It doesn't matter what shade. We can be a soft blush or rose or darker into a scarlet, deeper into the shade of blood. Just leave a stain behind. And then when tomorrow comes, let's be green. I hope to see you in the spring when flowers are blooming and birds are chirping. And until then, let's share another cup of comfort.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you for joining us, and we leave you with good wishes for the spring. We got through the end of 2020, all of winter, all that snow, and 4 marking periods so far. So, I'm sure we'll see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Good luck with parent-teacher conferences in March and keep those grades up. Remote learning is second nature now. We can do this. This is Lorimer Gonzalez.
And Yosef Abdallah from our houses saying good day Forest Hills.
Good day, Forest Hills.